best. But I will wish that everybody should be screened. For the past 10 years, all the money you collected as a governor, as a chairman, as a senator, they should screen them, they should account on TV. If Buhari cannot do this, then, oh no, I don't support him anymore. I don't support. They should screen, because the position of president is not like a pastor where you go and carry Bible, the beginning was the word, hey, bring your money. And Jesus is going to hit your head. No, he's the head of Nigeria, the most populous state in Africa, a giant to be. Just look at ourselves here. Anybody who sees you out there will know that this is a Nigerian. So they are all good, but they need to be screened. Screened one by one. On TV, like they let us be watching them, because they are going to get there. We don't want them to be swallowing the money like the past one has been swallowing. All the money is in Europe, in America. You go and find out today, they say the investment in Dubai is being sustained by Nigerian leaders. All the investments. And look at me and you. They declare us the poverty center of the world. And we are looking. Guru them one by one, man. Oh yes, guru them. What I've said in the last 42 years, if I'm not the light, I will have died. I will have gone. We will have said, he came and he's gone. So they're all good, but they should screen them. They should screen them one by one. And people should be allowed to ask questions. Of course, there are questions you cannot ask in the public. Like, for example, they are talking about certificates. What do you want to know certificate again? People who have gone to university and qualified. What do you want to find about their certificates? All you need is that ask them, we need money now. Before you go, all the money they use for the elections. A weekend, we are told, spent about 60 billion. What about Atiku? Almost about 200 billion. What about Asiwaju and all that? They should give us some now to say, oh, Nigerians, these are palliatives for your suffering. All of them should give us 20% of their income. Once they do it, the winner will what? Will be there. But another thing is the INEC. How sincere is INEC? INEC. Professor Gega or Professor how sincere is he? Oh yes, because a situation where my son is contesting for chairmanship of a local government. The elections were not held. Now the governor has signed it. Now they have approved it. He goes to court, and that is the end. So it's no good. They have to change all these things. That is why there's need to make urgent corrections or amendments. We are Nigerians. Maybe we want to live together, let us change it for good, for the common good. Don't say, you're able, you are checking. No. So that is, they are good, but do we have a sense of workable policy and philosophy of life? Do we regard ourselves as fellow citizens or as aliens outside our states of origin? Why is it that some states give contract appointments to workers from outside their states? Do we have a constitution at all? If we do, is it workable and applicable to every section in the country? Are we truly pleased to live together as Nigerians, or we are constrained by the instrument of amalgamation of 1914? If we have our way and our choice, what shall we do presently? In all honesty, what remarkable progress have we made since 1960? Weren't we taking 2 steps forward but 10 strides backwards. For instance, when you go into the field of development psychology, there is a normative stage for the growth, development, and locomotion of children. We are told that at birth, the baby lies on his face. But at the age of 1 month, he should what? Be able to raise his head. At 2 months, he should be able to raise his chest. At 4 months, he can sit with support. At 7 months, he should sit alone independently. At 9 months, he can stand with support. At 10 months, he should be able to creep normally. By the time the child marks his first anniversary, he should be able to pull himself in standing position. And by the age of 15 months, he should be able to walk normally and independently. The psychologists therefore add that any child who deviates from this normative standard is easily diagnosed as needing special attention. But this is very relevant because, as it is with children's normative principle of growth, so that it is with nations. Suppose a child refuses to walk at the age of 2 years. Can he be classified as early maturing or retarded? Then how can we describe our beloved country, Nigeria, which refuses to walk? Not to talk of running at almost 62 years. Is it well with her? Doesn't she need a surgical operation? Definitely, something is fundamentally wrong with Nigeria. We have all it takes to make a great, prosperous, technologically advanced nation. Still, we are reputed for backwardness. We are endowed with abundant and precious human resources, yet we are short of adequate personnel because many eggheads have been forced to migrate to socio-economic and socio-political situations. Instead of tapping the services and expertise of those specialists, our society frustrates them, and they thereby become a blessing and access to foreign lands. Not that alone. Our country is endowed with inestimable material resources, and still, about 95% of the populace live far below poverty line. Hunger is written bold on the faces of the people because there's no employment. Why many employees are retrenched on a daily basis. Most of social amenities have been commercialized and privatized to the detriment and hardship of the commoners. The sanity, order, and human sanctity that characterize many developed nations are foreign to our vocabulary. In the words of Edmund Burke, it even has happened, upon which it is difficult to speak and impossible to be silent. All along, there has been one identifiable great factor to our undoing, and that is leadership. It's leadership that determines many things in society. And when leaders are bad, things must fall apart. In fact, it is not our economy, or civil service, or social service, or police that is really defective, but our leaders since the onset. Looking at our nation, one will see that the land is full of religious spaces that are un-African. Our religion's view surpasses others all over the world. There's hardly a vicinity where one or all of Christianity and Islam do not thrive. Our Christians profess to be holier than the Pope, while the Muslims claim to be more religious than the Sheikh. But it's sad to say that the magnitude of our religious activities has a negative impact on our social life. In spite of our religions, there are lots of abnormalities, wickedness, and ungodliness in our private and national lives. The situation is best described by a passing remark of a friend that in Nigeria, Religion has a radius of 1,000 miles, but 1 inch deep. Bear in mind that the divine abhors such things. Do we expect him to approve of them? Not at all. Rather, he will find a way of correcting us in a hard way. Furthermore, it is a true saying that, quote unquote, habits die hard. As if our undertakings at home are acceptable to the divine, we tend to carry over our practices to the Holy Land, thereby making the place mere ritual and a show of sacrilege. Instead of esteeming truth, we embrace lying and hypocrisy. We have substituted mammon and luxuries for the divine. Else, why should many of our Muslim pilgrims make merchandise their utmost priority? What about their Christian counterparts who only make Israel a stopover for deflection to other countries? The truth is that the majority of our pilgrims are not pursuing divine approval, but mere excursion, or rather exploration. If the divine took such a painful step to bar us for 1 year to learn, can we say that he is partial? It seems we are poor observers of times and events. If not, we should have read the handwritings on the wall before the debacle and made corrections. For instance, our bright land of radiance and glory is deadly sick politically, socially, educationally, economically, and religiously. In all that, God is not to be held responsible, but ourselves. The Koboko is with us already, and it is there what we saw we don't want this person saying to deny us the right. Look at what is going on in our school. There are many lecturers now selling gari. There are many fathers who are ready to commit suicide. Yes, and that is what is happening. To let you know that when you get to that position of leadership, you must not mess up. So the Koboko is already there. Only my presence will relieve so many of us who have committed one sin or the other to be free. Yes, because this body is a spiritual body. Once you get negativity into the system, you are going to get it back. You may not be immediately. But what about those behind? But when you have a leader who is able to come and say, what I did was wrong. Imagine we're losing about 10 people in the car. A governor will not talk. What kind of governor is this? We are professing. Governor, why didn't you go to that place? There was an accident with 2, 3 houses being burned, and the president will be there. No, we have to face him. With Maharaji, nobody can kill you, man. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Ask these brothers here. I go in the night like a woman, but I take. When he wakes up, he finds something on the table. It causes something wrong. So the Koboko is already there. It's found. Look. Keep anchor preserved. Was asked by me to become the president of Nigeria. When I went there to play the game, I should go and come back. I went back later. He said, look, I don't think this thing will work. It will work. Only for me to see in one magazine calling Maharaji a dictator. I'm not a dictator. And you know how I'm going to do it. You agree. I'm going to touch the hearts of the people before you realize that. For example, in 2007 or thereabout, there was elections in a new state. Now my daughter, Sister Adamodu, is my minister, divine minister for environment. I asked her whether he has brothers in politics. He said, yes. Okay. I prepared one of these. I said, they should give it to me. He said he will give it. He got there. The t-shirt of one of the brothers who accompanied them, I don't know, writing him. He said, no, I don't want to see. No, look, I'm a Catholic. I'm this, I'm that. When they came and asked, And then my other brother said, there's the junior brother. I said, go there. He gave that answer. That don't ask the question. Is that all that you win the government? He said, yes. He took the flower from them. Now, he did not contest. Election took place. At the end of the day, they said there's kind of meeting here and there. They discussed the story. Now they say, okay, somebody should take over temporarily. And that's why the person who took the flower from me became the government. Declined. The master does not come to fight. He said, this is the way out. If you follow, you make it. If you don't follow, you never out. It is this model that became the president of our nation some time ago here. I didn't take any cover from you, but there was need to get somebody who will do well. That's just it.
Okay. My name is Sunday once again.
As regards to spirituality, is that kind of people that will what? Will coach you. People who hate the true name of the creator. Orúkọ Ọlọ́run, wọ́n fi pamọ́. Ẹni ẹ ló lè lọ́ọ̀bẹ. So religion has nothing to do with the bill. Like look at the ASU students and lecturers. Because they are not in knowledge. They go on strike. Water doesn't strike. The rain doesn't strike. The air doesn't strike. We are the crown. So there's nothing wrong with it. Only there's a warning. When they get there, they should not allow things to go worse. Which is because of Cameroun, Sunday Igboho, even all journalists, we are agitating. Are you not telling the truth? Huh? You are telling the truth, but are they following it? No. And there's no way they can follow it. Why? Because we don't have any scientific and technological foundation. We are living on borrowed time. Now, as regards the second one, the second question. Now, for you to enter university to recommit, once you pass 280, 290, you go in straight away. The same way today, once you use Maharaji, maybe you don't need to come to me. Talk to Maharaji in your family. I'm saying, Maharaji. So I am Satguru Maharaji. Are you there?
Yes,
I'm a body that Maharaji is using. More or less like the managing director of the company. I am not the owner of the company. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
The MD of this hour, at this hour now. Yes. So if you use it, you reincarnate. You know where you started your life 100 billion or so years ago. And you'll be able to know how you can tap this plant. Free. Now, we Governor, President of Kenya. The whole thing has been reviewed with suspicion. It's still reading there and there. Remember the case with Uhuru and our brother, the opposition leader. Now they're saying elections are my begging, and I'm going to do that, is that look, why don't they form one party? The opposition, all of them. Our Mumu don't do now. All this on both sides. The demon is crazy. There's no way you can institute that every freedom. You remove one came. At that time, it was allowed with Maharaji. Oh yes, ruling the whole of Africa. Yes, before then he was the father of Ibadan. Yes. So that time there was no argument. We eat, we drink, we dance, we go. Yoruba, all that. Everybody. So today, all I'm asking for is that to avert the loss of life, because they say unite now in Odinga's area. Cars are being stopped, looking wings then and then. No, we want to be president. That's why we have to look somebody. My child of child, a future president, future government too. My begging that they should unite. They should come together and then give appointments to the opposition. Yes. If they can do that. Remember the time of President of Uganda, this military dictator. Idi Amin was used by the Europeans to take over from Milton Obote or something. And when he got there, they asked him to surrender his They ask them to bring 20 Europeans. If you carry him, they can say, yes, I have been. I've been carried by a boat. That is the spirit we want to see here. They say, hey. After that, they say, oh, your hand over. He said, they started writing all sorts of things, take pictures about what we did here and there. Otherwise, if they unite, like even in Nigeria here, what stops Buhari, Aswaju, Atiku, Ogawu, all of them, Umechi, Obasanjo joined, all the military officers, all the past presidents, all the government. Hey! And when we start begging, because it's your wealth today that is sustaining their economies. Why are we divided? What for? Opposition. You kill somebody, you want to be a chairman. What about your child? If you go, you kill somebody because you want to be a governor. What about your child who is coming? Even if the people force them not to talk, the spirit will do the talking. So I want them to come together, one. That is it. Uhuru will not start working. Any solution for us to turn a new leaf, for we cannot bribe or manipulate the divine as we would the Nigerian police. But the verdict has been given by the divine, and we cannot disregard it. If it turns us down, who will accept us again? Where shall we go then? Maybe we could compound the situation by continuing in rebellion and going away from him completely. An object easily loses the state of equilibrium the moment its center of gravity is stabilized. Hence, with Nigeria of today's, the center of gravity of the world, whatever happens to Nigeria will ultimately have profound influence on the entire human race. And so when the Maradona and foremost corrupt military head of state, IBB, was leading the country into total chaos and collapse, I declared Nigeria the new holy land of the universe on 29 May 1993 at the National Art Theatre, Igamu, Lagos, Nigeria.
Oh, the praise
At the National Art Theatre, Igamu, Lagos, Nigeria, to sack the spirits of failure gathering to milk Nigeria dead economically, and also to replace the colonial holy lands in Mecca, Medina, Rome, Jerusalem, London, which have now become obsolete and plastic monuments because of the absence of the divine masters who headed, cured, and linked man with the creator within man at those periods. It is for this reason that I further moved in and declared no war in Nigeria, come what may, on August 16, 1993, exactly 29 years today. Smaller gods should shut up. Yeah. When the hero American forces of negativity wanted to use IBB, their stooge-in-chief, to cause and destabilize the world from Nigeria. Celebrating the Epoch Declaration 29 years after is worthwhile because despite the subterranean maneuvers by the forces of darkness to cause war and destabilize Nigeria, and by extension Africa, Nigeria keeps forging ahead as a united and indivisible nation. The celebration equally serves a quick notice to the minor organizers who are still fomenting trouble here and there, because divine koboko that I'm carrying is still dangling over their heads. Yeah. If they refuse to give peace a chance, already those who are swearing for war are really tasting it in their various enclaves. Hosting the great life for a greater part of our national sovereignty is an epoch and the crowning glory as the only nation to beat in contemporary League of Nations, notwithstanding how daunting the challenges before her may seem to be. Because with the light, Nigeria of today is the creator's project, and with that as the case, Nigeria will surely navigate away through tempestuous water to self-anchor the newest boat of our time, now on sale.
Praise Satguru Maharaji.
Hence, no power can shake or dismember Nigeria's nationhood as she gradually evolves as the creation's stronghold and creator's laboratory for the crystallization of a new world order, the promised kingdom of heaven, come down on earth, the golden age of life, of abundance, full of love, bliss, peace, harmony. In other words, unlike those who ate, dined, and now claim it, Nigeria is a failed state. We want them to know that hope is not lost in Project Nigeria, because by Maharaji's grace, there is encompassing ball of light glittering at the end of the tunnel, come what may. I'm therefore calling on Nigerians to patiently eschew their differences and refrain from acts that will exacerbate acrimonious tendencies among the various constituent nationalities. Rather, our divisive fault lines should serve as a galvanizing watershed in our resolute drive to build a strong, viral, egalitarian role model nation in readiness to receive and welcome the human race back home in the impending exodus that is about to begin. On the part of the leaders across the social, political, economic, cultural, and religious divides, it is ample time for them to shake off all forms of parochial proclivities that tend to impede on the common good and general well-being of the people, and come back home to the lotus feet of Maharaji. Because forcing surrender has its own natural consequences. We do not augur well for man in his recalcitrance. To be able to move the nation forward and make an imprint on the sands of time regarding our socioeconomic and political development, those aspiring to become leaders in the New World Order need to come for my divine knowledge. If they are desirous to make history where those before them failed, else they should forget. Divine knowledge is man's birthright, given free of charge by the Creator in the human body. And it was what our forefathers used to rule the world in the past, before the Igbos introduced the unsubstantiated doctrine of impunity of sin and repent, as well as belief in the existence of an omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, supreme being that one has to die to see. But shame. As absurd as this doctrine is, we succumbed and allowed the absurdity to gradually permeate and take over our psyche. And this has made us beleaguered as willing guinea pigs in the hands of our junior whites who survived the Holocaust underwater and have now become the materially advanced nations of the world, who now dominate and dictate the pace of global events for us to fall in line. First thing is the ASU strike. I beg. ASU strike. Let him give them only 5% of what might be due to them. And then after, they can now balance minus plus here and there. Yes, let him give them only 5% because come. The lecturers and our leaders. You can't compare the mighty lecturer whose students have become commissioners. Me, if you were my teacher and I'm a minister, I'll build you a house. I'll give you an aeroplane if I have the news. That one is it. So that is it. ASU, the president should hand over NEPA to the public sector. It should be made into a public utility company so that the masses will subscribe with the 5% of our earnings. Because the way they are behaving in NEPA now is not okay. I got judgment 12 years ago to say that NEPA should not be charging on imaginary, thing. Yeah, I got it. But today they are still doing it. People, they can find their way out. I don't know who are the people that give them this kind of right to be what? Committing crime upon crime. That's number 2. Number 3, there should be need to screen our students going abroad. Yes. We need to screen them. We should not allow them to go. We were there. When they go into those training, before they come back, we will know that they are carrying all kinds of diseases that we see in Africa now. They are modern day diseases of civilization. Then the medical doctors, yes, should be giving cash. When it's a medical doctor, Buhari can go and pick up 10 or 36 individuals, give them 4 billion each, or 10 billion, to import cash into the country and give it to them. Then the police, the salaries will change to 250, including accommodation. And what again? The army, 350, only with conditions that they cannot marry until after 7 years. Then the retirees, the president should deduct the amount payable to retirees who have not received their money in the state from the state funds direct, so that the president can pay it to them. Imagine retirees, some even they die while they were standing for the money and they don't get it. Like now, the oil areas, they should not be bombing them. They should use intelligence group to know those who are involved and look at the machine they have set up. And then what? Give them some money to develop those machines. African man doesn't kill. They are killing our children. What for? So that, I believe, before 5 suggestions are made. If the president can do it, everybody will feel happy, will feel good, will feel all right, because those areas are very, very important. Then lastly, price control. There must be price control. Things are going on. I remember Chicago, whether you can almost sing the song. Always austerity mentioned. This one will be beyond extent. Now, last question that you asked. Ali, the legacy, I read it, where the president, a planning man for that matter, was saying that they should tell his children not to look at his pocket. That the only legacy can give them is education. Yes, I think the president owes us a duty now. Yes, to try to prove the scenario on that area. If he can come out and say, Asu, look, I'm ready now. I sack Indigate. I sack the Minister of Education. Now I replace them. Now you, please come forward. Withdraw your strike. And I will answer you. Then, secondly, free education up to what? Secondary school level. Yes, that would be fantastic. Free education. Yes. And all them. Yes. At no mistake. Up to secondary school at least. This is why no matter what you do in Zimbabwe, you cannot defeat their party. Because they gave them free education to what? Secondary level. At least that level, any child will be able to know where to go. Yes, I believe those two, if we can do it. Wonderful. blacks forgive you. Why? Because we did not find out what happened to our great-grandfathers. We are just eating and drinking and merry, falling to the same prey. Our great-grandfathers, they lived 200, 500, 600 years. They can cook food with ordinary clothes. They can just do this, and we find them in Lagos, Calabar. But they were very strict. They don't lie, they don't care. So, Muslim ticket. And what is wrong with it? We want a team that will win the goal, that will win the match, I mean. That's just what is needed. Right? People are agitating now in Buhari or Subaiju. People will look at it. Buhari is a general, correct? And a big Muslim leader. Good. Now Subaiju is vice. He's a pastor from one of the biggest churches in Nigeria. And he's a professor. When you say professor, it is in knowledge you find the meaning of professor. Professor means professor. But you can read you to Sema. Don't pay me professor. Forgive me. And so you can see why is the agitation coming on? Because they have tried and tried, but not able to meet. And you know, you cannot meet the desire of every Nigerian, but at least there has to be law and order. I can go to the court and feel happy, but because we have got away from our culture and tradition, so now money is the god of the day. And when money is the god of the day, anything can happen. You can't believe in anybody. You can't trust anybody. So Muslim ticket is okay, so long as they will come there and score the goal. You saw me arguing about the former coach. I said, look, white man idea. The vibration in them is very low. Always engineered by the presence of that very personality who say you should call him anywhere you want. He comes instantly. Evidence are there, they are premises. Before now they say self-acclaimed. But today I have children. Are you here? Yes. So that is it. Nigeria is still holy, only in the center, where there's no way on this earth. If there is, and I'm talking to even the leaders, governmental leaders, all over the world. There's nobody who say, call him anywhere you are. He will answer. Today, I am the source of science, technology. Yes. I am the what? The source of the answers to all the laws governing everything in creation. And it's not what I will go out there to be fighting. No. Because already I'm fulfilled. I'm to sit there for people to tap. And that is why I still say Nigeria is holy and the holiest place on earth today. Look around you. The events in the last 10, 15, 20 years cannot happen anywhere in the world. They have all been breaking down. But Nigeria is still going like Agbegiledo. One day we are going to enjoy. Yeah. Now, as regards the Koboko, yes, it's in part of the Koboko. Nigerian police. When I expose them, we don't leave them. They say this will not stole such a man. We don't report it and keep quiet. We pursue him. We go to Time magazine. Since the past 40 years, there's no way I'll be sending circulars, press release. Every day I do it. I don't know how some have come, some do listen, but because right now, the woman doesn't want the black man to know the secret of Maharaji about that holy name. That's why you see we are pumping money into the religious grave. Billions and billions. And people are forgetting that, hey, as we are calling them down. Oh, yeah. So I'm very close to them. Let any of them come out to say whether I have not sent them circular since 1985. Yes, I do. And today, let us use this opportunity of this celebration for you to ask them. Now that you destroyed Maharaji Kingdom during the time of General Abdul Salam, I think it's time now to compensate Maharaji with a new edifice for Nigerians to work, to come and have from this place. Because we have tested Maharaji. Maharaji is genuine, Maharaji is love, Maharaji cares, Maharaji protects, Maharaji guides. Maharaji supports. Oh, yes. Oh, I love them because I'm part of them, and they don't take me as part.
The holy thing is big for my heart.
Obvious reasons may not have the opportunity to come down to Maharaji Guru for the purpose of receiving divine knowledge. This is a clarion call to all of us in Nigeria, Africa, and the world to realize the urgent need for global peace right from here in order to save lives being destroyed daily, whether black or white. Long live Nigeria, long live Africa, long live one united world. My love and blessings.